Yeah, let's move on to the NHL draft talk. Flyers have the 21st overall pick. Maddie, Thomas, Cole, Jacob been doing a great job with the community draft board over on broadstreethockey.com. Read and subscribe there. We had on number 19 today on Tuesday, so we'll get to 21 by the end of the week. Maddie, let's just start with who is your ideal target at number 21 who can realistically be there?
I really like Oliver Savanto. I'm not like super confident that he's going to be there. I would not be surprised if he gets picked up in the late teens, but I think he's a good sort of well-balanced two-way defender that they could target. Alexander Command is another one who is like a good motor type of, again, center. So would tick the box of positional need, but I think stylistically, both of those guys would be good fits for what they're trying to assemble here.
Yeah, I did the mock draft roundup on Monday night for BroadStreetHockey.com, and Alex Command was mocked twice. Savanto was mocked once. So all centers though. I did see Wheeler had that big Russian defenseman today mocked to the Flyers, but it does seem like they're going to go for a center. And like even not looking at the name, you look at Jack Hextall's profile of a solid two-way center, a safe pick, a guy that's not supposed to go where the Flyers are drafting. It just seems like exactly what they've done in past years with Luchenko and trading up for Nesbitt.
Well, it could be Brooks Rogowski too, who keeps coming up in our Slack chat.
Brooks Rogowski was mocked to the Flyers as well by who did that? Someone did that there. Yeah, Jacob keeps bringing up Brooks Rogowski as just some big guy. What, 6'7" there. So yeah, that would be a very Flyers pick. Joe,
6'7".
Can we kick him out?
Can we
eject him from the pod?
Joe's camera is unfortunately working, and he's doing the 6'7" motion every time we mentioned 6'7" here on the podcast. But yeah, Savanto ranked number 15 by Elite Prospects Consolidated ranking. Pretty much ranked in the top 26 by everybody. Finnish, played last year in the junior league over in Finland. Looks like he need to play some in the Liga as well. 11 points in 48 games there. He's a guy, yeah. I mean, sure, why not? Give me a Finnish center, 6'3". That's fine. That's fine by me.
Yeah, and he's got kind of a sneaky good finesse side of his game as well. Like he's a good sort of small area playmaker. So not just the frame and the positional thing working well for him.
Joe, have you done any draft digging yet? You have any names you have your eye on?
Savanto is someone I've been keeping an eye on. I would love it if they kind of took the swing on Villeneuve. They're never going to do it though. It's just the centers that keep coming up, right? Morozov is another one. I'd be happy with pretty much any of them. I think Rogowski's the biggest risk though, right? Like that's the one you'd be a little scared if they take him at 21.
I'm a little scared of Hextall as well. I mean, if they move back and they decide it's more valuable to, pick in the late 20s, 30, whatever, and pick up another pick, fine, I can talk myself into it, but I have some kind of significant pace concerns when it comes to him. I think I hate to even invoke the name because it scares me, but it's sort of the same thing we saw with Morgan Frost, where you get these guys where their profile at the junior level is, well, he slows the game down really well to maneuver. But the question then is always, okay, but is he ever going to be able to turn it on at the pro level and play with any more pace than that? I don't know. I don't feel confident in that.
The more you talk about it, the more it just sounds like a Flyers pick. Skating issues. They love to target those players with skating issues. The Hextall
I hope they've learned.
Trading down to grab him seems like the best thing. People can complain about that too. He seems like another fine pick that would be like a third line center, but like the Flyers don't need more of those with what Luchenko is looking like. We don't necessarily know what Nesbitt is going to be yet, but it's also not like you can get some of these top line centers or even top 6 centers at 21.
Yeah. And the other point I will make is I think the energy around this draft is very different, considering last year they had a bajillion picks at their disposal. Now they only have 5, I think. So you really can't galaxy brain this pick. Like, you need to just make the right pick. Don't overthink it, because you have so little margin for error here.
They need a player. They need to get a player. They can't really. Who is it? The Flames have 3 firsts this year, or someone's got 3 firsts this year. Like, maybe they take a swing on Villeneuve later in the round. But the Flyers don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flyers only having 5 picks, no picks in the 4th or 5th round, does make it seem more likely that they might trade back from 21 to like later in the 1st round and get, a 3rd round or a 4th round pick with it. It does seem like the Flyers have liked being able to trade down or trade up when they can to get the guys they want and get the most value out of those picks.
Yeah, definitely not afraid to do some maneuvering.
Is there anyone, like, every draft there is a player that falls further than expected? Like, a couple years ago, I mentioned Gabe Perreault falls into the 20s when everybody thought he might go earlier. Is there anyone in this draft that you could see falling that way? I would have said Viggo Bjork a few weeks ago, but it sounds like he's probably going to be a top 10 lock at this point.
I think this is just sort of front of mind because I was just writing about him, but like an Oscar Hemming or even a Tynan Lawrence might be somebody who drops a bit. I wouldn't call that like an outright slide, because I think there are definitely some corners of the scouting world that they haven't quite recalibrated to gauge like how hard it is to score at the college level for a draft eligible prospect.
Yep.
So, I mean, we saw it last year too with James Higgins, where people are like, oh, he didn't immediately put up like Macklin Celebrini numbers. So red flag, but there's still a really good prospect there. And I think there's still some corners that are kind of catching up there. So those are guys who, like, I thought had good college seasons, but just didn't really pop off immediately. So I think even then, like, that's sort of a similar to Perreault example for me, who, like, I wouldn't call him a slide. I think he just kind of went in like the more conservative range of his actual projected situation.
And Lawrence was injured to start the year too, right? Like he had a rough go to begin his season.
Yeah, he was injured to start the season with the USHL, then jumped in with BU in December, January, and had to kind of jump on a moving train there. So
tough year.
Weird year for him for sure, but like I loved his season still. Like that BU team was kind of a mess. Anybody who was already doing some prospect watching there for Murtagh and McLaughlin will have seen that as well. I think even though the points weren't really there for him, like he was motoring great and he was setting up a lot. It's just you need guys to close on those chances at some point. So I'm optimistic about him.
Hopefully that's a problem the Flyers don't have in the future, because they already got a ton of guys who can't get the job done. But we'll see. Maybe Martone's the savior. 40 goals coming in.
Maybe. Looking at Rogowski a little bit, Brooks Rogowski there, a big body. My mind immediately jumps to 10 years ago with Tage Thompson, but I am now realizing Tage Thompson had a great college season leading up to his draft year. Is there any comparison there besides being big right-handed shot forwards with, potential issues?
I think it's different. I think Thompson's offensive toolkit was already a little bit better developed, even if it wasn't like the production wasn't always there for him. Rogowski, I just don't really see that toolkit as being particularly high end. So it's like you've got the skill or the size, and like kind of that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I thought about it and I looked up Tage Thompson's numbers in his draft year, and he put up better numbers in college or similar numbers that Rogowski did in junior. So it does not seem like a great comparison there. Everyone's going Flyers need a center. They're going to draft a center or a defenseman, but they have a lot of wings at the NHL level and cusp of the AHL there. But you look at their prospect pool, and like I can't name one winger prospect. Like, do you think there's a chance the Flyers get a winger in this draft? Like, surprise everybody?
That wouldn't really surprise me, honestly. I mean, my philosophy is always just get the best guy available. I I sort of made this point a few days ago on our draft board where we were talking about Wyatt Cullen as a guy who might fall a little bit into the second half of the draft. Super, super skilled winger, but definitely kind of project-y. But if he's available at 21, you're running to the podium, the decentralized podium.
It's remote. The remote draft is so lame, man. It's so lame.
Yep.
It's all about the bottom line. Where's Cullen projected to go? He's 27 in the consolidated ranking, but 6 by elite prospects. So
yeah, like truly, truly all over the place. I mean, his playmaking, if the rest of his game sort of fills out, is close to elite. It's just he grew 8 inches over the last 2 years. Wow. So the rest of his game is sort of messy. And I mean, that's a really good upside bet on him, but there is some risk there. It's like maybe he just doesn't keep rapidly developing in the way that everybody hopes, but I really like him.
Is Cullen a guy, or is there a guy similar who you think might drop out of the top 10 or so into like the mid-teens? The Flyers could look to trade their pick plus like a roster player or like a Emil Andre type guy to grab if there's like a high potential guy that falls.
For me, it would be Tynan Lawrence. I think I'm kind of stealing Jacob's thunder here because he mentioned he's doing something about this as well. But again, as a center, and if you kind of look at the trade market, which is both kind of thin and also very expensive, and you start to wonder, would we be better off spending our assets to move up in the draft to go after this guy who is, I think, really projectable? That's something I would consider.
How soon do you think he'd be NHL ready? Like 1 or 2 more years at uni, or like is he one of those? Could he do a Luchenko and surprise everyone and make the team out of camp?
I don't know. He's got some physical developing to do still. I would like to see him get an actual full season of college in. So not a guy who I expect to be banging down the door in like 2 years necessarily, but somebody who could be really valuable in the middle distance for you.
Yeah, another August birthday, August 3rd, so doesn't turn 18 until then. But he's someone that could be a top-line center in the future?
Potentially.
Okay. That's good. That's good. It's a name to keep in mind for me there as well. We got Thomas in the chat talking about Adam Novotny. What are your thoughts on him, Maddie?
Yeah.
I haven't gone deep on Novotny. I'm going to be so honest.
All right.
Thomas is going to get so mad at me.
13th in consolidated rankings, seems to be in the teens by most people. Craig Budden, who has nailed the Flyers pick in the past few years, has him 23rd. I don't know if I think that's just rankings though, and not his actual mock. But everyone's always a fan of a player being ranked higher than they get picked. So yeah, if he falls to the Flyers somehow, would not hate that. Had 34 goals, 65 points. With Peterborough Pete's in the OHL, 3 assists in 7 games at the World Juniors there for Czechia. Maybe they got a Jake Voracek or Dan Vladar inside look at Novotny.